Vampires are really scary creatures, but some of them are very different and unique. The story follows Staz Charlie Blood. He is a vampire otaku living in a magical dimension. He is also the one leading the east region of the demon world. His partner is Deku, and they work together often. Soon after, his partner Deku calls Staz to tell him that a young girl Fuyumi has wandered into the demon world, into Staz's territory. Instead of killing her, Deku suggests taking her to the room. Staz eagerly brought Fuyumi to his room. He immediately feels the girl's attraction, not only her romantic liking of her but his vampiristic mind to suck her blood. Later in the day, Deku and Staz go fight someone who is challenging his leadership. His opponent throws massive attacks at him, but Staz then screams and releases his power, destroying his opponent's giant weapon. Staz then uses his vampire magic and pulls the heart out of his opponent's chest. But when they return home, they find Fuyumi has been killed by a demon plant. Deku figures out that Fuyumi is now a ghost. Later, Staz decides that he will bring her back to life. Fuyumi in her ghost form leads Staz to a portal called the Black Curtain. This was the thing that brought her to the demon world. Staz also reveals that he wants to experience the human world. When the demons that work with Staz hear about his plan to leave, they start to make preparations. They decide to use a duplicate who will pretend to be Staz while he is gone. Finally, Staz and Fuyumi pass through the Black Curtain and leave for the human world. Fuyumi and Staz are transported to her room in the human world. Staz starts to make fun of her for living in such a messy room. Staz then decides to become a transfer student and go in the same school as Fuyumi. Staz and Fuyumi are confronted by her father, who is furious, but Staz uses his magic to make him be quiet and listen to their commands. Staz is really excited while exploring the human world and their way of life. He is really happy that he has started high school, and there he uses his spray to make it. Seems like Fuyumi was never missing. Because of the spray, Fuyumi's body starts to disappear. It seems that this spray also creates new memories, which is very dangerous. Staz tells her to take some of his blood so that she will be okay. Staz also realizes that he doesn't really like sucking the blood of any humans besides Fuyumi. When Staz and Fuyumi go back to her home, they are met by a woman called Belle Hydra. She tells Staz that she knows he is using a double in the demon world. Belle Hydra uses her magic and transports Staz somewhere in the human world. Staz fights an ogre and he beats him with one punch, throwing him in the air. It is revealed that Belle was actually just testing Staz because she is actually searching for someone different, someone who has magical powers. Belle tells Staz and Fuyumi that the only way to bring back Fuyumi to life is by using a book called Human Resurrections. Belle sold that book to Wolf, the Lord of the West Demon World. Staz and were friends in the past. In the demon world, Wolf has been taking over the land piece by piece. Staz has decided to ask Mamjiro and Fuyumi to help find Wolf. Belle still doesn't trust Staz, but she agrees to not attack him anymore. Staz finds a special demon vehicle, and on their journey, they meet with Wolf. Staz and Wolf talk and they are friendly, so Staz decides to ask for his help. Wolf declines as he does not want to give Staz the book he needs. Staz then tells Wolf that they should have a competition. If Staz wins, Wolf has to help him find the book, but if Wolf wins, he can take Fuyumi. They decide to have a competition in bowling, and Staz tells Fuyumi that he will use his magic to cheat and win. Wolf instead prepares a boxing match, and Staz cannot use magic this time. They both enter the ring and begin their boxing match. They are equally strong, but soon Wolf starts to use magic to heal his wounds and Staz bites him in the neck. Staz takes some of his magic, which makes Wolf tired and weak. Staz slowly begins dominating the match, and Wolf then transforms into a werewolf. Wolf then makes fun of Staz and him trying to help Fuyumi. Staz gets angry and then almost kills Wolf with his lethal spell. Fuyumi stops the match in tears as she doesn't want them getting hurt. Belle uses her spell to transport all of them to another location. Belle tells the group that she had the book this entire time and was just making fun of them. Staz gets the book and he cannot read it. They realize that only the book's author can read it. Staz realizes that his oldest brother is the author, and his name is Braz T. Blood. Staz is pretty scared of his oldest brother and does not want to visit him in the Acropolis. Wolf is angry at Staz for being a coward and tells him to finish what he started. Wolf tells Belle to open a portal to Acropolis, and then he kicks Staz into that same portal. Staz finds himself in Belle's bedroom, and there Belle questions him about his motives. While they are talking, Staz admits that he is afraid of Braz, because in the past his brother did very painful experiments on him, and tortured him for years to test his magic. Braz also shot bullets into Staz. Belle now finally realizes that Staz isn't a magic thief but a tortured boy. Belle wants to motivate Staz, so she summons her spatial grid room and locks him inside. Staz then tells her that he will soon unlock his true power and unleash real magic. Belle and Staz later go to dinner and she starts to develop feelings for him. In the demon world, Fuyumi's body is slowly disappearing, and their Wolf tries to find a crazy scientist called Frankenstein to save her. Belle and Staz go to the Acropolis, and there they create some problems so that the magic seal is broken. Staz finally enters Braz's castle and tries to be stealthy, but his younger sister Liz T finds him. She hates Staz and thinks he is a traitor. She puts him in a prison cell. There are other prisoners with Staz, and they manipulate him into pushing a strange button. Staz goes through a strange hallway, and then meets Liz, who reveals that if he wants to leave he must fight zombie warriors. No one has done it before. Staz fights the zombies, but they are far too powerful and Staz is defeated very quickly. Staz then goes to fight the zombie numerous times but loses each time. He is doing his best in the fight, but the zombies are too fast and strong. Even when he uses a spell to send the zombies into the air, they still defeat him with their teamwork. Elsewhere, Franken has realized that Fuyumi can only be stabilized if they have blood from Staz. Because Fuyumi is a ghost, she can absorb the magic of demons. If Fuyumi can absorb all the powers from Staz, she could actually become even more powerful than many demons. Meanwhile, in the Acropolis, Braz has figured out that Staz is in the city and he wants to reunite with his brother. Other members of the Blood family do not want to help Staz. In Franken's lab, Belle reveals to Wolf that the mad scientist is actually planning to use Fuyumi to test his monster called Akim. He used different parts of demons to create Akim, and he wants to test his monster in combat. Akim actually escaped the lab and went hunting other demons. Wolf then makes a deal with Franken where if he defeats Akim, Fuyumi will be returned to her normal ghost form. Braz and Staz talk, and he tells his younger brother that he can teach him the resurrection spell, but only if he helps him kill Akim. Staz refuses this offer, and Braz reveals that he sealed massive amounts of magic inside Staz, and he is the only one who can unlock it. Braz then tells Liz to send her zombie after Staz. He wants Staz to release his real power in the battle. Wolf goes searching for Akim and finds him killing a bunch of demons in horrible ways. He is truly a monster. Wolf attacks a demon and just rips through him, spraying blood everywhere. Meanwhile, Staz is getting beaten by the zombie, and then Braz removes the bullet seal, which makes Staz reveal his true powers, and he easily defeats the zombie, totally destroying it. He melts them, turning them into lifeless bones. Staz is surprised by his new powers and doesn't understand how to control them. He leaves the Acropolis and decides to go hunt down Akim, because Braz will then teach him the resurrection spell. Wolf and Akim start their deadly battle, and Akim has special powers that are very deadly. They are both very fast in combat, but Akim is really dangerous. Wolf has never faced an opponent this strong. Finally, Akim reveals that he is actually just a demon that is controlling this dead body called Akim. Wolf uses his pipe and releases magic from it, and then fully transforms into a werewolf. Elsewhere, Belle has trapped Franken in her grid room, and there she forces him to reveal all of his secrets about Akim. Eventually, Wolf and Akim become even more brutal, beating each other with powerful hits. Wolf then uses his deadly claws and starts to slice Akim slowly, tearing him to pieces. Staz also shows up just as Akim has started to heal his body. Staz uses his new powers and he hits Akim so hard he transports him into the northern wasteland. Wolf is exhausted from the battle and he has no more magic, so Staz decides to fight the monster instead of his friend. Staz then faces off against Akim and uses his magic powers to attack. Staz summons magic punches and charges at Akim. The monster called Akim figures out the attacks and manages to dodge them. Staz then uses a single great spell and destroys Akim's entire body, after he lets Akim almost heal himself. But using his zip spell he destroys him completely. After the battle is completed, Wolf challenges Staz to a duel. Liz and Braz appear and take Franken and Akim to prison. Staz does not want to fight his friend Wolf because of his OP power level. Braz then appears and demands to meet the girl that Staz wants to save so badly. Braz goes to meet Fuyumi and Manjiro. Braz is very rude to Fuyumi and this makes Staz very angry, and he refuses to have Braz help him. Staz then uses his powerful spell and restores Fuyumi with his own blood. The group then goes to the cafe shop, and there Braz wants to see Fuyumi's original body. Belle does not like Braz, so she warns Staz and gives a magical bell to Fuyumi that should protect her. Braz then takes part of the magic energy from Fuyumi and concludes that he could create her body and resurrect her. Braz then goes back to Acropolis, and while he promises to help, he actually plans to use Staz's own magic and take it for his own experiments. Liz has to stay with Staz as Braz has forbidden her to return to the Acropolis. Staz decides to spend some time with his sister, and even allows her to stay with him at his house. Fuyumi and Liz start to get along and they even take a bath together. The following morning, Liz wakes up and sees that Fuyumi has left, and asked everyone not to follow her. Staz and his friends figure out that Fuyumi has been kidnapped. Staz then obtains the power to fly, and he goes after Fuyumi trying to find her. Liz finally goes back to the Acropolis, and there she is confronted by the policewoman called Burroughs. Burroughs tells Liz that she can return to the city, but she must take her to meet with Braz, who has broke the law by leaving the Acropolis. Liz then calls Staz and tells him that she cannot find Fuyumi in the city. Staz then goes to the faraway land to look for Fuyumi. A blonde-haired man has been stalking Staz and his friends. He also might have something to do with Fuyumi being kidnapped. His name is Null Hydra, Fuyumi finally gets a chance to activate her bell to call her friends. Liz finds out where Fuyumi is and tells Staz, who flies to her. Nell Hydra gets scared that Fuyumi has called her friends, so he runs away, but not before Belle finds him. It seems that Nell and Belle are brother and sister. Staz finally arrives and Belle decides to protect her brother from Staz. Belle puts Staz into a prison so her brother can run away, and Staz gets really angry. The two of them begin a battle of magic spells. Eventually, Staz uses his magic and traps Belle in her own spell. Belle does not want to fight anymore, and she decides to take Staz to Fuyumi. Belle is surprised that Staz still hasn't figured out that she loves him. Staz and Belle finally find the Dimension Highway portal, and there Belle finally reveals her true feelings. Raz is confronted by the Acropolis force, and then he remembers how his life has been difficult. In the past, he saw his father be killed by the king of the Acropolis called Wolf Daddy. Raz hates that he has to live in this city. Nell Hydra and Fuyumi meet up with Staz and Belle. They talk about Nell Hydra, their mother, and what her plans are. Nain meets up with Fuyumi and is really happy to see her. Wolf Daddy meets with Braz and actually compliments him about his duties in the demon world. Braz has had enough, so he finally admits that he was the one behind the creation of Akim, and wanted to use the monster to start a war with Wolf Daddy. Braz and Franken have actually been working together to create a much more powerful version of Akim. Wolf Daddy is furious and he tells Braz that he has 3 days to find his king candidate, and then they will both be killed without mercy. Braz finds a way to escape and is chased by various warriors. Elsewhere, Nain tells the group that doppelgangers are special creatures that are connected to the demon and human world. Nain then explains that she actually fused with Fuyumi's mother while she was in the human world. A warrior called Goyle finds Braz and attacks him, wanting an explanation about his plans to defeat Wolf Daddy. Goyle uses a special kind of magic and Braz uses his own magic to control him. Goyle surrenders and backs down. Fuyumi is still confused about the whole situation, but Belle tells her that once she is resurrected, all of these memories will be erased. Staz is teleported to an island in the sky, and there he thinks about Fuyumi. He is then met by a mysterious person. The mysterious person figure is revealed to be Heads Hydra, the Lord of the Hydra territory. Elsewhere, Deku, Yashida, and Mimjiro fight the Tropical Territory forces as they want to take over the kingdom, since Staz is not in charge anymore. Heads reveal that when Nain was created, she and Fuyumi's father Yanagi meet with him. Yanagi decided to give Nain to Heads, but only if he could raise Fuyumi as a real human in the human world. Heads now want to understand why Staz wants to resurrect Fuyumi so badly. Staz is finally honest and he tells Heads that he wants to know his true feelings towards her, but he cannot until she is resurrected. Heads then tricks Staz into making a false promise that will kill him if he goes against what Fuyumi wants and her choice. After that, Staz is woken up, and now he is in the Hydra tertiary entrance, and there he meets with Fuyumi and Heads. Heads is trying to convince Nain that he wants Fuyumi to choose her own future and destiny. Goyle and Braz are still not done fighting, and finally, Goyle manages to trap Braz using his cool decision magic spell. Liz then arrives and rescues her brother Braz, and they teleport away from danger. Nain does not know what to decide as she does not trust Heads nor Staz. Staz starts to feel guilty as he realizes that since the day he promised to resurrect Fuyumi, he has only brought her pain and suffering. He then once again promises to resurrect her, but only if she wishes this. Fuyumi agrees and the two of them leave the Hydra territory together. Nain and Heads watch Staz, and Fuyumi leave, and Heads wonders if Staz will be able to become a true hero to protect his loved ones. Elsewhere, a strange group of people flies up in the sky, and they reach a giant blimp. Braz managed to escape, and now he has arrived in his secret lab and there Franken awaits him. They talk about their new project and how powerful Akim will be. It is then revealed that the new body for Akim is the father of Braz and Stance. He has now been brought back to life as a monster. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new anime recapped. And comment below which anime you want to watch next. Have a great day.